All right, well, I usually don't do it this way. I usually have them on a pad, but I was looking at this this listing, and one of my guys listed this one a while back, which is probably the reason it hasn't sold, because he did a crummy job of it. So I don't see a video. I'm going to do that real quick. That's going to give you the best birds. I was washed at one time. We have this kind of adobe clay crap, and there's a little bit of splash up, but there's no salt in Colorado. This is a really nice tub, and you'll see that for yourself here shortly. So this is Jeremy, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com. Give you a quick, looks like we don't have much going on up here. This is our upper lot. It's kind of our safety lot. Nobody can come up here, but a couple of the guys with the forklifts. I don't want people running into things. And then our yard, 7 acres down here. And then we have another upper lot, which is kind of it's over there, and it's really for things that just come in before we have time to go through it, check things out, run them, drive them, shift them, all that kind of stuff. So, because we do everything from the big stuff down to little stuff. So I happen to have a trip, supposed to leave Friday. Always happens. I always end up with delayed trip, and that usually is because I'm adding things. I want this trip to be full. I want it to be worth it for customers I'm delivering it to, as well as it is for us. Obviously, I always deadhead back. I almost never have loads come back, so I got to make sure I got a full load going out. And as of right now, I was only going to Michigan, possibly Ohio. Now I'm definitely going to Ohio, Pennsylvania, and I even added Maryland. So there's a potential for more north of there, but for right now, that's where it sits. It just depends on who else is out there that possibly calls today. Today will be probably likely the very last day I say that, and then watch, I'll be here. No, my wife's birthday is March 11th, so I kind of gave myself some room just in case, and sure enough. So, okay, so let's go through this thing. Again, our phone number is 303-666-9020. If you see this on YouTube, just call us. It's the best way to go, okay? This is going to be a 97 to 01. It probably was a 97, 98. It might even still tell us. Let's see. Yep, 97. So 6 of 96. So your firewall is 97 to 01, okay? And I'm not going to go into that because I have a good video, and there's a yellow one here too. So we have a couple right now, not a lot, that are quality grade A tubs. I've sold a few of there. I actually have another. We have an 02 there, and it'll work on a variety of years as well. But that one has a little bit more on it. So if you're looking for, and that's a blue, not that it matters, but okay. Happy looking in the market for a TJ tub. This is a great time to give us a shout. That one would be a little tight on my trip, but I do have a top deck just because it's got the windshield frame and everything on it, and tailgate. That one I could fit, but you'd have to help me unload it, meaning that you'd need a tractor or forklift, something to get up high, because that's going to be on our only one spot up there. So, okay. So this is a green Sahara, again, 97. And I'm going to say initially it's an A. Somebody graded it, whoever listed it the first time, as a B+. And that might be. I'll have to get underneath. What would really indicate a lower into a B would be damage that's got a boxed in area that you can't reach. Like there's some of these areas that you see in here. If you get damage in some of the channeling, if you get into this area here from this side, for example, then this would be a little bit more difficult. Still not hard, but it becomes a B grade for us. So there's only a couple boxed in areas on a TJ, but by and large, this is a nice clean tub. I know there's one thing that I know for sure is got a ding in it, and I'll other than just little dings here and there. Pretty solid tub though. Floors are nice. The back, the corners, they look great. The only thing I seen on it was right here, and this would be what it would bring it down to a lower A, and mainly is because it ends right at the lip, and you can see it right there. So it should be fairly easy to bang that guy out. And if you do have to get him from the backside, when I flip it over here in a second, I'll show you what that looks like on the bottom as well. So okay, and then this side's super tight with this Jeep being here, so I won't be able to show it too much, but you can see, and this is just that dirt, and this shit will come right off. So okay, and then let's see, I've got a little bit down there. Oh, that's probably where they graded it a little lower there. You can kind of see it right there at that lower rocker. So repair that. There's a lip there. You can get onto there. I'll show you that here in a second. Makes me think this one might have a video of it. So I feel like I faintly remember this one getting posted, but we'll see. If not, I'll just redo it. So again, we'll check and make sure that doesn't get into that box area too much. If it does, then yes, it would definitely be a B, and the cost will be in the B grade, our B range tubs. So still night and day. I know people out there in Midwest, East Coast look at these tubs and go, man, your C's look like our A, an A out here. So yeah, it's just because we don't use salt on the roads, and we don't buy from areas. We don't buy from anything east of us. So Kansas, Nebraska, all those states have salt on the roads, and it just gets further. The further you go, the worse it gets, it seems like. So, all right, I'm gonna pause it real quick, flip it up on its side. I think I have enough room to do that here, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, I just went to the chiropractor. I have to go back there. Usually they're not too hard to flip up, but when you're in a tight spot. So I always go through with my customers a couple things. I'm sorry, this is just this stuff. This was clean. There's probably a video, we'll see. If not, you're worried about it, I'd be happy to re-clean it. But I can guarantee what I'm telling you, and I know that's not saying much in the world we live in with trust, but look back on our videos. Like I said, if it's a make or break thing, I'd be happy to rewash it before you make the final go on it. Otherwise, I'll clean it before it ships. And if I bring it, it definitely will happen, as I always like having things clean when they show up and stuff. So, all right. So we got a little divot here. So I like to do videos. So sometimes I don't see them when we're down the ground. Here's that damage we've seen already up there. And we'll see if it doesn't, it doesn't come in all into here. So it is literally all on that upper lip area there. Okay. The seams where they put all the sheet metal together, always a really good place to look when you're looking at buying. If the liners aren't in this one, obviously, they'll start building up rust here. This is really clean. Okay. The absolute most important thing I'll get to here in a second, but here's this area here. You got some surface. Okay. There's a difference between, I always tell people, oxidation and surface. This is not oxidation. This has got preliminary rust or rot in it. It's definitely going all the way through and needs to be fixed. Now, the good news is it's completely accessible whether you cut it out or not. I would definitely cut it out. You don't want to just let that be. But it's there. Now, this is a Sahara, and that's why you see these little screw holes here that have been cut off. So you just simply drill those back out if you do have a Sahara, and put your molding up here. That's what goes here. That's what these tabs are on, all of them. Those tabs are usually only on the Sahara, or the holes. And if you're not gonna do that, you can simply grind those off and fix them how you want, fill them back in, or possibly even just use the screws that are in them. Okay? Now, the most important thing out of a tub, what really grades a quality tub for us, is gonna be the bottom end, and this is torque pockets, okay? And you hear me say this over and over and over and over and over and over. If you fixing this stuff, yes, it's not free. It's going to cost some money, okay? But body shops won't shy away from that stuff. Where you usually get body shops that don't want to do the work, or they'll do it, but they'll give you that we don't really want to do it price, is going to be when these torque boxes or these captured nut areas are rotten, okay? And it mainly happens in these channels up here. This is a big torque box down the driver's side. We're looking at this thing, the way it's tipped. And then we have our passenger side here. Okay, and then we have another boxed in area here, which is really your lower tailgate rocker, okay? Aside from the dirt on it. And then down here, same, okay? And then the last ones are here. So we're gonna count them out just so you see them. Now there's 11 in total, but there's only 10 on the tub. The 11th one, we can't see, obviously. It's on the radiator support. Matter of fact, it would be where the nose of that guy comes into your frame. That would be your 11th one. Okay, so if you have that, that one's not super, they almost always get loose up there. Matter of time when we pull them apart, they're loose. The bushings are almost gone on them. And it's really more indicative on the frame side of things than it is anything else. It has nothing to do with the tub, and has a little bit to do with frame and a little bit to do with the radiator, or radiator support, or grill as we call them. Okay, so nice clean threads. I don't know if you can see down in there. That's one. Okay, two. And again, we're looking for clean threads. We're looking for not broken bolts, no studs you have to remove. And if it was broke, and it happens occasionally, it's not the end of the world, but it sure makes it a lot nicer for you when you go to reassemble, not to have to do stuff like that, especially if you're planning to paint it and do some other things. So we got 2 there. Now we got 3. That one's nice and clean. And then we got 4. Now these guys are going to be tucked away. You're not going to be able to see these very well if your fuel tanks, if your frame and your tank and everything's still up in there. They kind of go up above your tank. Okay. So we're at 4, and then we're just going to do the tops here real quick. 5. Okay. And if you look in here, I can wipe this all away just to show you. These torque pockets, when they start going bad, they'll start collapsing. These are beautiful. There's some dirt that we'll clean out of there. There's no indication of that going bad there. Okay, so what are we at? 5, 6. Good, nice clean threads there. Again, this is nice clean area. 6, and then we got 7, right? That's your front one, the very front before it goes out to your firewall. And then again, nice clean threads there. 7, okay. And then we're at 8. All right. And then this guy here. So okay. Again, 9, and then 10. Okay, and again, nice clean all the way through here. Nothing to be alarmed at or anything like that. So occasionally we'll list a tub, and if for whatever reason these middle ones seem to be the ones that do it, where they start collapsing down or sometimes even break the bolts. I used to not list those at all. We kind of just get rid of them if they had any issues. And then people out, again, east that wanted to either didn't have any other options, we didn't have anything at the time, or didn't want to spend a fortune. And they're really not. I mean, for what you get, they're pretty inexpensive. However, it's still a big purchase. So we like to be conscious about that and make these accessible for everybody. So we try to list. This is a perfect example of one of those tubs. I'm not going to be able to obviously lift it up for you right now. This is a beautiful white tub. It's gorgeous. These have, I think there's 2 at least. I want to say there's only 2, but I'm not 100% sure. It'd be just because it's fully together still for the most part. The frame's out from under it. But this is a perfect example. This tub came out of, this was a Utah one, I believe. But and Utah's usually pretty clean. Every once in a while, get somebody that just doesn't wash it, and that's probably the case because you can see how gorgeous this thing is, right? But there were 2 torque pockets on here that I don't believe they broke. I think the studs are good, but they're starting to collapse, and I think it's those center ones. So this is a perfect example of a really nice tub. Now, we still got to dismantle it, make sure the floors are good, and yada, yada, yada. But if that thing checks out, the rest of it, and it's just those 2, then it will go into a C range. And yes, anything that's rusty for us at all is going to be C. And if it just gets like blown out, we're fighting, we're going to be chasing our tails, or you're going to be chasing your tail. It ain't going to be listed. So there is always, the rock crawler community oftentimes still buys those tubs. We practically give them away or do them for haul fees if we have the room. So there's always that chance if you're just looking for, something to build a rock crawler out of, and you're likely not going to be utilizing torque boxes anyway, building out more of a frame or a tube chassis. That's a perfect tub to use. Not maybe this one, but that kind of tub, and so forth. So I'm like I said, one more time, I only got one thing. I spent all day getting this one ready yesterday because we're taking a hard top and set of doors out for a customer. So I'm gonna go back to that tub real quick and take some photos of everything. Oh, you can't even see it. I have a trailer down there that we're loading. So anyway, that's what's going out as we sit right now. Last August, I came out, I had 14 tubs. I didn't have very many frames. I couldn't fit very many frames. This trip, we only have 3 tubs so far. Trying to get a couple extra on there would be great. But we have I think we're up to almost 17 frames. So I can still fit another 2 or 3 tubs, even hauling that many frames out. There will be that much deck space left. And then we always have our top deck to go with. So if you miss this load, it's not the end of the world, right? I don't do these loads very often anymore. I got a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. My 4-year-old might be going with me. We'll see. It's hard to leave home, especially with the little ones. If they were a little bit older, it wouldn't be as bad. But it's really, really hard, especially my 1-year-old's just about to walk, and I'm just scared shitless I'm going to miss her walking. So this is going to be a fairly quick trip for me. But with that said, I've been doing this for 21 years, all right? It's not my first trip. It's not going to be my last trip. But most importantly, even if you're worried about time, because it may be a while before I come back out. I'm only doing these once or twice a year. We run a hot shot crew in our busy season, which is right now. That's January 15th to June, roughly about the middle of the month. We run them all year round, but those guys we bring on contract, and we tell them every 2 weeks they're going to have something to pick up out of here. They're awesome. They're quick. They're way faster than I am. I mean, I'm fast. They're freaking awesome. They get to New York in like 2 days, but they have dual drivers. They're very easy to deal with. They'll deliver on weekends. They'll deliver to houses, just like I will. They're a little bit more, but not a lot. Realistically, for what you get, I mean, you're not going to be able to freight one of these things out to you for less than these guys are doing them for. So I select them myself. If they show up, these guys we've actually used many times before, but if we get one that, a new driver, somebody shows up and has some janky load or ride, we'll turn them away. It's happened before. Not a lot, but it has happened. Even on the guys that show up in brand new trucks. I had one guy not too long ago show up with a one of those solar-powered construction road signs. He had it on the front of his trailer. He had a forklift on the back. It was a Dodge 2500 brand new truck, and it looked like the Texas tilt. And you guys from Texas know what I'm talking about, where that put your ass in way down to the ground, your front end way up. And I told him, I said, you got big passes ahead of you. Not only is this not safe to do, but your truck ain't gonna make it, man. He was on the bumpers of his axle. It was completely, had blown through his suspension. Again, brand new truck. I finally just said, look, these guys, I wish you the best. I'm glad that you got something going, but you ain't taking our load over. Everything's replaceable and people are not. I just didn't want to have anything to do with that part of it, and just in case he or put somebody else in. And there's always big accidents over there. So we really do our due diligence when it comes to loading these properly, making sure that you get them in the same condition we're showing them to you. And that's part of the reason I do this video. It's my face you guys shows up on your door, or one of my guys. So it's not like we're hiding behind some big brown box that you never can get a hold of person. Our phone, I'm not shy with our phone number. So anyway, I'm going to get to it. I got a lot of stuff to get done today. Again, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. And I'll try to get this one posted. Hopefully I'll have some better photos of it, and they did do their job when they took them. But so far the ones on our website weren't the greatest looking. So if it's not sold by the time I leave or by the time I get back, I probably will just get it rewashed again. But I'll knock it down a little bit because it is a little dirtier than I would like to show it in. So you'll save that. And then, of course, the little damage up in these areas, that knocks you down a little bit too. So, okay. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you later.